are new, thank you so much for joining me today. For today's video, I'm going to be tracking my expenses for the final week of January, and then we're going to go ahead and start closing out my budget for the month, because February is right around the corner and we need to get set up for February. So let's talk expenses. It was a pretty low-key week. There's just a handful of expenses I need to track. There wasn't a ton of spending. We did do some spending in some categories where we didn't have a lot of money left, so there are going to be some categories that we are over budget in. However, there's also quite a few categories that we came in significantly under budget in. So I think at the end of all of this, we will come out looking pretty good for the month overall. So let's talk expenses. We're tracking for January 25th through the 31st. And I can tell you that on the 25th we had no spending, on the 26th we had no spending. So the first transaction we're going to talk about is on the 27th, and it was an eating out transaction. And as you guys know, if you've been watching, we were already completely done with our eating out budget. We had like $1 left in our budget. We definitely spent more than that. So we are going to be over budget in our eating out category for the month overall. I knew that when we went ahead and ordered our dinner, and I've just kind of had to be okay with it. I decided that I was okay with it since we were still under budget in so many other categories. So the transaction was for a local diner. We just ordered carryout, brought it home, had a nice kind of relaxing evening at home. The category here then is eating out, and that amount was $47. So that was our first transaction. On the 28th, no spending at all. Again, really, really good. I knew we were at the end of the month. I knew we were at the end of our budget, so I tried to do as much as many no spend days as possible. On the 29th, we had our Netflix bill come out. And I also just got an email saying that Netflix is going up again. I don't know about you guys, but I personally find that Netflix is my least favorite of the streaming services, and it's the one we pay the most for. If it were up to me and it was just a decision of mine, I would cancel it, but Austin really likes Netflix. He watches a lot of the Netflix original shows that you can't get anywhere else. So we are going to keep it, but man, it's expensive. And we have like the lowest tier, like just 2 screens or whatever it is. We were paying $13.99. Now it's going up to like $15 and change. I don't know. It doesn't seem worth it to me, but he really likes it. So anyways, $13.99 was that amount. And the category for this one is bills. So I just need to make sure that when I write out my February budget, I'm accounting for that increase for Netflix. Also on the 29th, we went and got groceries. I knew that we were on the tail end of our grocery budget, so I kept it really minimal and just got what we needed. I am going to have to do a big stock up the first week in February, so that's kind of the balance. If you spend less this week, you got to kind of spend more next week to make up for it, but that's next week's problem. For now, we spent $66.18, and the category here is grocery. Also on the 29th, we filled up our gas tank. It had been a while since we got gas, but it only took $35 to fill it up, which was really great. We have the Walmart Plus membership. We pay the $98 a year or whatever it is, and we get 5 cents off each gallon of gas that we buy through Murphy, which is the gas station connected to Walmart. It's a really good deal. So $35 in gas. We went this day and got some coffee, so more eating out. Again, I just kind of was aware of it and went with it anyway. We had a late night coffee, or a late night soccer game this day. So that category was eating out. We went between Austin's games and grabbed some coffee. I had decaf, but still. $4.70. And then the last transaction that we had was on January 30th. It was from Amazon, and it was a household expense. And again, we were pretty much all the way through our household budget already, but I made the decision to go ahead and get what we needed. It could have waited a couple of days, and then we would have been into February's budget. I wouldn't be over budget, but you know, it is what it is. It was $26.49. I bought myself a new sheet pan that I desperately needed. So that's it. That's all the transactions that we had for this week. Like I said, I knew we were at the end of the month. Tried to keep my spending under control. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull out my highlighters so that we can highlight these. We've got some bills we're going to need to highlight. Gas. We also did the savings challenges. Again, I always forget to write that in. Grocery. We didn't have anything miscellaneous, so the only other one we need is eating out, right? Oh, and household. Okay, so really quickly, let me write in our savings. I actually had decided that I was going to put some of our savings into an extra debt payment, and then I went in and changed my thing here, so I don't exactly remember how much it was that we took out for that last week. Let me go back and look at my charts here. 28 and 60 and 1, I think it was. So $89 is what we pulled out of our account to put towards savings. Ultimately, some of it ended up going towards debt, but I'm just going to go ahead and write it in as savings. And I don't know what day Thursday was. Was it the 28th? We'll go with that. And I'm just going to write savings. I just need to make sure that I account for it so that my totals all match. And this category is savings. Okay. So if you watched my debt update, you know that I took some of the money out of the savings challenges to put that towards an extra debt payment, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these things highlighted. We'll start with eating out, which is this sunny yellow color here, and we had one more right here. We'll go ahead and get these added up. This should take no time at all because we had so few transactions. 47 plus $4.70 for a total of $51.70. Okay, takes care of that. Then we have bills. For a total of $13.99 because there was just that one. Okay, grocery. Again, just one transaction. And that amount was $66.18. Gas. It's $35. And then we have household and savings. So household is this orange color. Oops. For $26.49. And then lastly, we have our savings, which was $89. I usually like to highlight first, that way I don't have to worry about my pen smearing, but I always forget. Alright, so total $51.70 plus $13.99 plus $66.18 plus $35 plus $26.49 plus 89, 282.36. Plus, we gave my husband his 40 and we gave Austin his 20, which I will account for on my hybrid budget worksheet, which we're going to flip to now. I decided just to combine all of this into one video because the expense tracking was going to take such a small amount of time. This video is still probably going to end up pretty long with the closeout and everything, but I don't know, it just seemed silly to have my transaction tracking be one video when it was only going to take, you know, 5 or 10 minutes. So just going to flip to my hybrid budget worksheet now, if I can find it. Oh, that's not it. Here we go. And we're going to go ahead and fill in the rest of this. So we know Netflix came out. I budgeted $14. I need to pull my expense sheet I just filled out and bring it over so I can easily reference it. There it is. So Netflix came out at $13.99. Okay, now I have to get my overall totals for the month so I can fill these in. So the way that I'm going to do that is fill in the last weekly check-in. We don't have a week 5 this month, so for groceries, we had budgeted $93. That's kind of what we had left for the month. And you guys know for groceries, we spent $66.18. So that means that we came in under budget overall, which is awesome. I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna go ahead and fill in all of these actual totals and then we'll kind of do the backwards math and figure out our overall totals for the month. For eating out, we had $1 left. We spent $51.70, so over budget in this category overall. Household, we had nothing left. We spent $26.49, so we're also over budget in this category. Gas, we had $106 left. We only spent $35, so we're going to come in under budget here. For miscellaneous, we had $71 left. We had no miscellaneous transactions, so under budget there. I did give my husband his $40. I did not spend anything of my spending money, so $134 remaining. I've decided just to let that go at the end of the month rather than roll it over into the new month. Do I want to do that? I might actually pull this $134 out in cash and stick it into an envelope for me for savings or something, because I shouldn't lose it, right? I shouldn't be punished for not spending money. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull this $134 out and just stick it in an envelope, and I'll save it for something down the line. And then for Austin, I did give him his 20. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this 0, because I am going to pull this $134 out, so I'm going to count it as spent out of my budget, even though we know that it's just going to sit in an envelope. So I had $465 to spend for the week on all of my variable categories here. And we spent $373.37, which means that we are going to come in under budget overall, which is so exciting. I love this hybrid budget method. You can see here that I went in and made some changes to these bottom categories. I had them all listed out by week, like how much I saved for the savings challenges for weeks 1 through 4, but ultimately, since I decided to put some of that towards debt, I put the items that we saved total here under their categories. So for the 52-week savings challenge, we saved $119. For the 50 envelope savings challenge, we've saved $49 so far. And then the ones that I took from the savings challenges and put towards debt, I've listed here. So for the hydrator pay, we did $3. For the high-low temp, we did $82. And then I took $7.07 out of my buffer. So that overall was our extra debt payments, $92.07. Not as much as I wanted to do for the month, but that happened that way because of our Subaru payment. You guys know I went in and accidentally paid our Subaru payment too early, so it didn't take down that minimum payment that was due. So I had to go in and make an additional payment to cover that minimum payment. So that was, you know, an extra $386.91 that could have gone to my city card, but couldn't because I made that error. Anyways, for groceries overall for the month then, we started out with $600. And I guess I could just take that 600 and subtract that 66.18, and that would give me a total, but I think I want to just go in week by week and add it up. So 252.87 plus 82.01 plus 171, oops, 16 plus 66.18. For a grand total of $572.22. You guys, I feel like this is the least amount of money on groceries I've spent in a month in a really long time. Because when I was budgeting weekly, giving myself $150 a week, I was completely spending that $150 every week without fail or more. But something about knowing that this $600 had to last me the entire month, it kept me in check and kept me from overspending in some weeks, I think, and that brought me in under budget overall. So I am thrilled with that. This hybrid budget method is really doing it for me. I'm so excited. So $572.22 is our overall grocery total. I'm thrilled with that. For eating out, we know we're going to go over budget. We always spend more than I want to in eating out. I keep telling myself I should just raise our eating out budget, but I feel like if I raised my eating out budget, I would just go over that number too. It's like no matter what I give myself, it doesn't ever seem to be enough. So $53.60 we spent in the first week, $40.01 the second week, $104.85 the third week. That's because we went to a nice dinner out as a family. If we hadn't done that, we probably would have come in under budget, but I don't regret it for a second. And then $51.70 for a grand total of $250.16. So I don't know, you guys, that is over budget, but I struggle to feel bad about it. You know, this is our family. The way we bond together as a family, we like to eat out, we like to go to restaurants, so we don't really do a lot of activities and things. This is like our family time, so I don't feel too bad about it. Even though we are $50 over budget, I think we're going to more than make up for that with these other categories that we came in under budget. So next then we have household. So for week 1, we spent $72.93. For week 2, we spent $26.29. Week 3, we spent nothing. Week 4, we spent $26.49. So a total of $125.71. Again, that's over budget, but I don't feel like that's too bad actually. I am going to raise this budget for February because this is my first time in a long time separating out household and groceries, and I just wasn't sure what it was going to cost. That's the other thing. Typically, I guess my grocery budget is so much higher because it was combined with household. So that probably makes up the difference, but I still feel like I spent less overall this month than I have in previous months, even if you add these two together. So I'm happy with that. Okay, for gas, we're going to come in pretty far under budget, which is exciting. So $53.01 plus 40 plus nothing this week plus 35 here. $128.01. So that's significantly under the $200 that we budgeted for the month overall. I'm psyched about that. For spending, okay, so this is $400 in spending that I allotted for the month is for my spending, my husband's spending, and Austin's spending. So I believe it should come out that we spent the full $400. I believe. but we're gonna go ahead and do the math anyway. So for Eric, the first week, he spent 40. I spent 2. Austin spent 20. For the second week, Eric spent 40. I spent nothing. Austin spent 20. For the third week, Eric spent 40. Austin spent 20. I spent $23.52. Plus, it's actually not going to come in quite at that 400 because I dropped the change here, but that's fine. I'm not going to pull change out of the bank. So 40, 134, 20. Yeah, so $399.52 is just because I dropped the change when I wrote out my budget here. And I mean, I guess I could pull out the 48 cents, right? But I'm not going to. So I'm just going to write in that we spent $399.52. And then for miscellaneous, I budgeted 100, and I think we're under that as well. So for miscellaneous, we spent $13.20 plus $15.57 plus 0, and then we had no miscellaneous transactions this last week either, correct? Correct. So $28.77 overall is what we spent. Which is awesome. So we didn't have anything in unbudgeted expenses. Everything was accounted for, which is awesome. For extra debt, we said it was $92.07. Our savings challenges, we said was 168. Sorry for the flipping back and forth. And I'm just going to keep the amount that we're going to roll over private, so I'm not going to write it in. So these totals are going to be a little bit off, and they were going to be off anyway because the amount that I budgeted didn't account for extra debt and savings challenges and everything. These numbers are kind of dependent on the rest of the numbers from the month, right? Because if we greatly overspend in a category, we don't have as much for extra debt, as we found out with my Subaru payment. Okay, so everything looks really good. We came in under budget in quite a few categories. Our water bill came in under budget. Our cable bill came in under budget. HBO came in under budget. Boost came in under budget. Obviously, we were over budget in Subaru. I should write that in red. Actually, now that I think about it, $786.91. We came in a little bit under in Netflix, Audible, motorcycle, and car insurance. Chase was lower than we expected. Ashley was lower than we expected. Citi was lower than we expected. And First Merchants Bank was under budget. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I did not know going into the month what these minimum payments were going to be, so I estimated high, and I'm really glad I did that because it means, again, you know, we didn't have to scramble for any of that money. Groceries came in under, a little bit over budget in eating out and household. Everything else came in under budget. So this was a really great month. I feel like these couple areas that we wrote in red were probably offset by, you know, coming in under budget in so many categories. Plus, you know, we didn't put as much towards extra debt as maybe we could have. So overall, it was a really great month. I'm really happy with it. I'm not gonna go in and add everything up and get the actual totals because they're not going to be actual totals anyway, because I'm not going to write in this rollover amount. Obviously, I don't disclose my husband's income, so you know, the amount we're working with is blank anyway, so I don't feel like I need to add everything up. But just by looking, you can see here we came in significantly under budget in a lot of areas. Really, really happy with January. Really, really happy with this hybrid budget method. I feel like it really kept me on track, and I'm excited to move towards February. So the only thing that I have left to do before I can start my February budget is to close out my sinking funds. I think I'm going to do that in a separate video because this video is getting kind of lengthy, so be on the lookout for that video coming soon. But overall, yeah, I'm really happy. The hybrid budget method is a budget printable available in my Etsy shop. I have it in this pattern, which was my January pattern. I also have it in this pattern, which was my February pattern. I love this. I can't wait to set this up for February. I've got March releases coming soon, hopefully by the end of this week, so you'll have a third pattern to choose from. Definitely check out my Etsy shop if you're interested in budget printables. I would really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here on my channel every single week. Yeah, I'm excited. Let me know how you guys did in January. Bye.